My name is Samuel. I'm 82 years old, and for almost 60 years of my life, I sat in church pews every single Sunday without ever being told the truth about what I'm going to share with you right now. Not once, not by my pastor, not by the seminary-trained men who shook my hand at the door, nobody. Then about 3 years ago, I opened the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and I read it slowly. Like an old man reads things when he knows he doesn't have much time left. And what I saw on that page made my hands shake. Because everything happening right now, everything in the news, everything you feel in your gut when you watch the world spinning out of control, it was written down 2,600 years ago, word for word, and the church has been hiding the meaning of it from people like you and me. Let me tell you what I found, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And you will understand why I had to make this video while I still can. You see, I grew up believing the world was getting better. That's what they told my generation after the war. Build a house, raise your children, pay your taxes, trust the government, trust the pastor, trust the news. And for a long time I did. I really did. But then I started watching what was happening. Not just in America, everywhere. Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Afghanistan, Venezuela. Whole nations torn apart. Whole peoples crushed under the boots of leaders who don't care if children starve. I watched the powerful nations of this earth dictate the rules and leave broken economies behind them, like a man leaves footprints in the mud. And nobody in my church was talking about it. Nobody. Honestly, I started to think I was going crazy. I would sit at my kitchen table with my coffee getting cold, and I'd ask myself, am I the only one who sees this? Why doesn't anyone connect what the Bible said to what's happening right outside my window? And then I read Daniel chapter 7, and I understood. They're not connecting it because they were never taught to, or worse, they were taught not to. Daniel had a vision. He was lying in his bed in the first year of King Belshazzar of Babylon, and he saw 4 great beasts coming up out of a churning sea, 4 winds of heaven striking the waters from every direction at once. Now let me explain something. I didn't know it at the time, but the wind doesn't normally blow from 4 directions at once. That's not natural. That's chaos. That's the whole world being shaken at the same moment. And that, my friend, is exactly what we are living through right now. The first beast Daniel saw was like a lion with eagle's wings. The strongest animal on land joined to the fastest in the sky. That was Babylon, the empire of Nebuchadnezzar. The empire that built the Hanging Gardens and conquered Jerusalem and dragged the people of God into exile. And here's what I didn't understand then. The critics, the so-called scholars, they spent decades saying Daniel was a fraud. They said Belshazzar never even existed. They mocked believers like my grandmother for trusting this book. Then archaeologists pulled the cylinder of Nabonidus out of the ground in the ruins of Ur. And there it was. Belshazzar's name, carved in stone. The son of Nabonidus, the co-regent who ruled while his father was away. Exactly as the Bible said. Exactly. And the scholars went quiet. But my pastor, he never told me about that discovery. Not once in 60 years. Why? You ask yourself that question. The second beast was like a bear, raised up on one side more than the other, with 3 ribs in its mouth. That was the Medo-Persian Empire. The Persians eventually grew stronger than the Medes, which is why the bear leaned to one side. And the 3 ribs? Babylon, Lydia, and Egypt. 3 kingdoms swallowed whole. And let me tell you something. The night Babylon fell, King Belshazzar was throwing a banquet, mocking the God of Israel, drinking wine from the cups stolen from the temple in Jerusalem. And while he laughed, the armies of Cyrus diverted the Euphrates River, walked into the city on the dry riverbed, and took it in a single night. One night. I was scared when I read that, I really was, because I thought about how many parties are happening tonight in Washington, in Brussels, in the towers of New York, where the powerful men are mocking God and laughing, while the river is being diverted under their feet right now. The third beast was a leopard with 4 wings on its back and 4 heads. That was Greece, Alexander the Great. A man who at 32 years old had conquered the known world from Macedonia all the way to India. And then he died, suddenly, in Babylon, and his empire was split between his 4 generals, just like the 4 heads on the leopard. Written down 200 years before it happened, 200 years. But the 4th beast, oh, the 4th beast. This is where my hands started shaking when I read it. Daniel couldn't even describe it. He couldn't compare it to any animal he'd ever seen. He just said it was terrible, dreadful, strong beyond reason, with iron teeth that devoured and crushed and trampled what was left under its feet. That was Rome, the empire that crucified my Lord, the empire that fed Christians to lions in the Colosseum for entertainment, the empire that burned believers alive as torches to light the gardens of Nero. And here's what they don't tell you in church. Rome never really fell. Let me explain. You know what surprised me most? When I started digging into the writings of the historians, men like Hoffman, I found that the Germanic tribes and the Slavic peoples didn't replace Rome. They married into it. Charlemagne descended from Roman families. The German Emperor Otto II married a daughter of the Eastern Roman Emperor. The Russian Prince Vladimir did the same. They didn't found a new kingdom. They continued the Roman one. The beast didn't die. It just changed clothes. And now I have to stop right here, because I need to tell you something, and I need to tell you fast, because I'm 82 years old, and I don't know how many more videos I'll be able to record. I cannot fit everything I have learned into one video. I can't. There is too much. The church has buried 2,000 years of truth, and I have spent the last 3 years digging it back up. The connections between the four beasts and the agenda being rolled out right now. The exact identity of the 10 horns forming in front of our eyes. The spiritual warfare protocols that the early believers used to survive Roman persecution and that we are going to need again very soon. The names, the dates, the patterns, the protections. That is exactly why I gathered everything into my book, The Forbidden Archives, the definitive guide to the end times mysteries hidden by the church. 2,000 years of silenced truths, the survival roadmap, the spiritual warfare manual the seminaries refuse to teach. You need to arm yourself with this knowledge before it's too late, before they take it down, before they shut me up. The link is in the first pinned comment right below this video. Go and secure your copy now, but please listen to the rest of what I'm telling you, because the most important part is still coming. Because the fourth beast had 10 horns, and while Daniel was watching, another horn came up, a little horn, small at first, but it grew. And it ripped out 3 of the 10 horns by the roots. And this little horn, Daniel said, had eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. That little horn is the Antichrist. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear an old man who has lived through World War II as a child, through the Cold War, through the moon landings, through the assassinations, through 9/11, through the lockdowns, through everything. I have seen a lot. And I am telling you, the 10 kingdoms are forming right now. The Agenda 2030. The talk of unity, of progress, of tolerance, of a borderless world managed by a few men in suits in glass towers. They are building the platform. They are laying the boards. And the little horn is going to step up onto that platform very soon. Daniel said this horn would make war against the saints, against people like you and me, against the elderly believers who refuse to bow, against the families who still pray before dinner, against the grandmothers who still teach their grandchildren that there is a God in heaven. He will prevail against them for a time, times and half a time, 3.5 years, the Great Tribulation. And here is what I felt when I understood this. I felt afraid. I won't lie to you. I'm an old man and I felt afraid. But then I kept reading. Because Daniel didn't stop at the beast. He kept looking, and he saw the Ancient of Days take his seat, and the books were opened, and one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples and nations and tongues should serve him. His dominion is everlasting. It shall not pass away. His kingdom shall not be destroyed. That is Jesus, my Lord. Coming back not as a baby in a manger, not as a man on a cross, but as the King of Kings, to put an end to every beast, every empire, every little horn, every lying mouth that ever spoke against God. With one word from his mouth, and the entire system of corruption that has been built for 2,000 years will collapse like a house of paper. And here's what I didn't understand then, but I understand now. The 4 beasts were not just history lessons, they are the pattern. They show us that every single human empire that turns its back on God is judged, every single one. Babylon fell, Persia fell, Greece fell, Rome is falling. And the final beast, The revived Roman system rising in front of our eyes right now, it is going to fall too. The only question is whether you and your family will be standing on the right side when it happens. So now listen to me, please. Listen to an 82-year-old man who may not be here next month. Watching videos is not enough. Do you hear me? Watching videos on YouTube is not going to save your soul or your family from what is coming. The deception that is about to be released on this earth is going to be so convincing, so beautiful, so well marketed, that the Bible says even the elect would be fooled if it were possible. Your pastor is not going to prepare you. Your government is not going to prepare you. The news is not going to prepare you. The seminary-trained men who hid the truth from me for 60 years are not going to prepare you. You have to prepare yourself, and you have to prepare your children and your grandchildren right now, tonight. Go to the first pinned comment under this video. Click the link. Get the Forbidden Archives, the definitive guide to the end times mysteries hidden by the church, into your hands before they take it down. Because they are watching me. I know they are. I don't know how much longer they will let me speak about these things. I don't know how much time we have left. None of us do. Do not wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow might be too late. Tomorrow the link might be gone. Tomorrow the power might be out. Tomorrow your grandchildren might already be standing in front of the little horn with no idea what they are looking at. Get the book tonight. Read it. Share it with the people you love. And if this video has opened your eyes even a little, please like it. Comment so the algorithm shows it to another grandmother somewhere who needs to hear this, and subscribe to this channel so I can keep speaking while I still have a voice. May the God of Daniel protect you and your family. The link is in the first pinned comment. Go now.